So first off, how important was it for you to be able to get back in September last year to throw and be in those high leverage situations?
Yeah, it was huge. When I got the original diagnosis, it was kind of, it was more hit or miss. Like it would be close to get back, and luckily I was on the shorter end of the timeline, and I was able to come back for the last 2 weeks of the regular season and postseason. And just to get that experience late in September in a playoff run was huge. And then pitching in the postseason was huge, obviously, too. So it'll carry a big weight coming into this year for sure.
And we spoke about that during postseason, but as a young relief pitcher,
Yeah.
I mean, those are the highest leverage situations you're going to be in. What was it like for you, and how much do you think that will help you coming this season?
It was awesome. I mean, it's what you dream about as a kid when you're pitching in the big leagues, pitching in the postseason. So it definitely was good experience. Had a little success doing it too, so that's always good. Keeps your confidence up going to the next year, and it's only going to pay dividends this year when we get to the postseason again and have a little experience under my belt.
As good as last year's bullpen was, Billy's gone out and added pieces, veteran pieces.
Yep.
For a young pitcher like you, how important is that to be able to pick the brains of those guys that have done your job for years?
It's awesome. I love having all the veterans here. I really enjoyed having Otto here last year. He was a big help. He's pitched in some big games. Played in another New York market with the Yankees, pitched in the postseason. And we added David Robertson and just more experience, like you said. So it's great having those guys around. I'm sure they'll be extremely helpful this year for me and the other young guys that we have. So really looking forward to that.
Steve mentioned yesterday that the vibe around this clubhouse is the best it's been since he's been here.
Yeah.
And just being in this locker room, we don't spend a lot of time in here, but
Yeah.
it appears like there's zero ego among the group. How important is that to getting to that final destination of where you guys want to go?
Yeah, like you said, zero ego. I feel like everybody here realizes that we all want the same thing. Like it doesn't matter how big profile you are, guy, how much money you're making. It's just everybody's has a common goal, and that's to win a World Series. So having everybody on the same page obviously goes a long way during the season. Each guy working towards the same goal and not individual stuff. And I feel like that's what we have here, and the vibe is definitely different. It's been a good vibe this year. We realize that we have a good team, and we know that, and now it's just putting it all together on the field.
Pitch clock. Any concerns? Do you have a baseline of what your normal time used to be?
Actually, we looked this up on Baseball Savant. They have a little stat that you can look at what your time is to the plate with runners on base and nobody on base. And I think last year I'm not exaggerating. I think I was 14.9 seconds. So I'm right at the cutoff. So I can maybe pick it up a little bit and not be too worried about it. And then with runners on base, I think I was right around the cutoff as well. So. I luckily don't have to make a huge adjustment, I don't think, and I'm not too concerned about it. I think it actually might play into the pitcher's hands a little better. I like working at a fast pace sometimes, and once you get that groove going, hitters can only call time once. So I think it's going to play into the pitcher's hands more than people think.
Do you think it's tougher for a relief pitcher though, because you're coming in a lot of times in those high leverage situations, and you don't have that time? If things start going bad.
I think it'll be tougher with runners on base for sure, because things start to spiral a little bit. You got a couple guys on base, and you need a second, you need a breather, you need to step off and take 10, 15 seconds. You can't do that. You can, but it counts as one against you. So. You can only do that a certain amount of time, and it's easy for the game to speed up on you, especially in high intense moments. So that'll probably be the biggest challenge, but I think we've had enough experience, most of the guys here as relievers, that we'll be able to handle it.
Relationships with catchers super important with that as well, or not?
I think the game calling especially, because with the pitch comm now, if they hit the wrong one, you shake. Luckily, it's a little quicker, but still, if you run through 2 or 3 pitches, that's probably 8 to 10 seconds right there. So having a good being on the same page as your catcher and having a good game calling situation is going to be huge too. But I've worked with Nito obviously ever since AA, so we have a pretty good relationship. And Omar, I'm sure we're going to have a good relationship as well. I've heard nothing but good things about him.